Thanks, everybody. Thank you. It's great to have you here. Thank you. All right, everybody, this is great. Thank you. Wow. It is great to be here, and thanks, everybody. Where did Bob Perciasepi go? Oh, I couldn't see you. Bob, thank you for accompanying me in and for all your leadership you bring to this agency. I wanted to begin by telling you a little bit of a story. About a month ago, I took a trip to the Cleveland Clinic, and I met a lot of really great people, but one person stood out, even if he needed to stand on a chair to make himself seen while he was talking. Parker Frey, he's 10 years old, and he struggled with severe asthma his entire life. His mom said that despite his challenges, Parker is a tough, active kid and a really good hockey player. But sometimes, she said, the air is too dangerous for him to play outside. You know, in the United States of America, no parent should ever have to have that worry. Thank you. That's why EPA exists. That's our job. And we are directed by our laws, and it is reaffirmed by the courts that we are here to protect public health and the environment. And today, climate change that's fueled by carbon pollution is supercharging risks, not just to our health, but to our communities, to our economy, and to our way of life. That's what why EPA is delivering on a vital piece of President Obama's climate action plan. And I want to thank Janet McCabe, who is our acting assistant administrator at the Office of Air and Radiation, and all of the entire team and teams across EPA who work so hard to deliver this proposal. They should be incredibly proud of their hard work. I know that I am incredibly proud of it. You guys are great. But today EPA is proposing a clean power plan that will cut carbon pollution from our power sector by using clean energy sources and cutting energy waste. Although we limit pollutants like mercury, arsenic, sulfur, currently there are no limits on carbon pollution from power plants, our nation's largest sources. For the sake of our families' health and for our kids' future, we have a moral obligation to act on climate. When we do, we'll turn risks of climate into business opportunity. We'll spur innovation and investment, and we'll build a world-leading clean energy economy. The science is clear, the risks are clear, and the high costs of climate inaction keep piling up. Rising temperatures bring more smog, more asthma, longer allergy seasons. If your kid doesn't use an inhaler, you should consider yourself a very lucky parent, because 1 in 10 kids in the U.S. suffer from asthma. Carbon pollution from power plants comes packaged with dangerous pollutants like particulate matter, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur dioxide, and they put our children and our families at even more risk. Climate inaction is costing us more money in more places more often. 2012 was the second most expensive year in U.S. history for natural disasters. Even the largest sectors of our economy buckle under the pressures of a changing climate. And when they give way, so do businesses that support them and local economies that depend on them. As our seas rise, so do insurance premiums, property taxes, and food prices. If we do nothing in our grandkids' lifetimes, temperatures could rise 10 degrees and seas could rise by 4 feet. The S&P recently said climate change will continue to affect credit risk worldwide. This is not just about disappearing polar bears and melting ice caps, although I like polar bears and I know about melting ice caps. This is about protecting our health, and it is about protecting our homes. This is about protecting local economies, and it's about protecting jobs. The time to act is now. That's why President Obama laid out a climate action plan to cut carbon pollution, to build a more resilient nation, and to lead the world in the global fight against climate. Today's proposed clean power plan is a critical step forward. Before we put pen to paper, we asked for your advice. Our plans were built on that advice from states, cities, businesses, utilities, NGOs, and thousands of people who provided us comment. I want to thank you for that comment. You will see that those comments made a difference. Today is about kicking off what we see as our second phase of critical engagement. So shaped by public input, by present trends, by proven technologies, as well as a healthy dose of common sense, our plan aims to cut energy waste and leverage cleaner energy sources by doing two things. First, by setting achievable, enforceable state goals to cut carbon pollution per megawatt hour of electricity generated. And second, it's laying out a national framework that gives states the flexibility to chart their own customized path on how they meet their goals. All told, in 2030, when the states meet their final goals, our proposal will result in 30% less carbon pollution from the power sector across the United States in comparison to 2005 levels. Thank you. Now, just to put that in perspective, that's as if we canceled out all the annual carbon pollution from 2/3 of the cars and trucks in America. This was the preferred path forward. And if you add up what we actually avoid before 2030 even comes, it's more than double the carbon pollution from every power plant in America in 2012. It's double what every power plant in America generated in terms of pollution in 2012. And as a bonus, in 2013, we'll cut pollution significantly that causes smog and soot by 25% or more than if we didn't have this rule in place. Now, that's a great added bonus. Now, all of that means it's going to result in lower medical bills, fewer trips to the emergency room, especially for those most vulnerable. Those kids, especially those kids that have asthma, our elderly and our infirmed. This is also about environmental justice, because lower income families and communities of color are hardest hit. Now, let me get into the details of the proposal. This plan is all about flexibility. That's what makes it ambitious, but also achievable. That's how we keep our energy affordable and reliable. The glue that holds this plan together, and the key to making it work, is that each state's goal is tailored to its own circumstances, and states have the flexibility to reach their goal in whatever way works best for them. To craft state goals, we looked at where states are today, and we followed and looked at where they are heading. Each state is different, so each goal and each path can be different. The goals spring from smart and sensible opportunities that states and businesses are taking advantage of right now, from the plant to the plug. Let me tell you about the kind of opportunities that I'm talking about. Now, we know that coal and natural gas, they play a significant role today in a diverse energy mix. This plan does not change that. It recognizes that there are opportunities to modernize aging plants, to increase efficiency, and to lower pollution. That's part of an all-of-the-above strategy that paves a more certain path forward for conventional fuels in a carbon-constrained world. States also have the opportunity to shift their reliance to more efficient and less polluting plants, or instead low-carbon sources. There's always the opportunity to shift to no-carbon sources, like nuclear, like wind, and like solar. Since 2009, wind energy in America has tripled, and solar energy has grown tenfold. Our nuclear fleet continues to supply zero-carbon baseload power. Homegrown clean energy is posting record revenues and creating jobs that cannot be shipped overseas. Those are all opportunities at plants. But what about the plug? Existing technologies can squeeze the most out of every electron, helping us use electricity more efficiently in our homes and our businesses. More efficiency means that we need less electricity to cool our refrigerators or to charge our phones. For the fuel we burn, let's get the biggest bang for our buck. All of these options are not new ideas. In fact, they're based on proven technologies, proven approaches, and they're part of the ongoing story of energy progress in the United States of America. Our plan doesn't prescribe. It propels already technologies that are available in the progress that is underway. And like I said, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. States can pick from a portfolio of options to meet regional, state, and community needs, from ones I mentioned, or more that I didn't, and in any combination that they choose. It's up to states to mix and match to get their goals. And if states don't want to go it alone, they can hang out with other states. We can do multi-state market-based programs. We're doing them today. Or they can be creative and make new ones. More players mean more flexibility, and when you look at this proposal, you'll see that more flexibility means lower cost. States have flexibility not just in the means and the method, but in the timeline too. Under our proposal, states have to design plans now, and they have to start reducing so that they can be on a trajectory to meet their final goals in 2030. That kind of flexibility means a smooth transition to a cleaner power that doesn't leave any investment opportunities behind. The flexibility of our Clean Power Plan affords the choices that lead them to a healthier future. Choices that level the playing field and keep options on the table. It doesn't take them off the table. Choices that reflect where we are today and that look to seize the opportunities that are here for us tomorrow. Choices that are focused on building up, not on shutting down, so we can raise the common denominator for a cleaner, low-carbon economy that will fuel growth for decades to come. What's special about the flexibility of our plan? It doesn't just give states more options. It gives entrepreneurs and investors more options to play too. It'll deliver the certainty that private investment is looking for, that will unleash market forces, that will drive even deeper reductions through innovation and investment. It will spur cleaner technologies and power of all sorts so that we can bring new low-carbon technologies to the table. Our plan will pull private investment off the shelves and into our clean energy revolution and send it in every direction, not just the one or two that we know about today, because the opportunities are endless. The good news is, states, cities, and businesses, they've already blazed this trail. We are not doing cutting-edge work here, folks. We are just opening up the door for cutting edge to happen. Our clean energy revolution has been unfolding in front of us. Just in the past few weeks, I went to Salt Lake City, where the mayor and the utilities are teaming up on building efficiency. I went to St. Paul, where there is a science center that is recycling energy waste, saving money, and it's actually teaching kids what we adults are just beginning to learn. I've seen Fortune 500 companies revamp strategies to lower business risk by meeting the demands of a carbon-constrained future. I want to give a shout out to all of the local officials, all of the rural co-ops, all of the public power operators and investor-owned utilities that have been leading the charge on climate change. And you know who you are. I thank you. It's clear that you act not just because it's reasonable, but because it's the right thing to do for the people that you serve. Governors and mayors of all stripes are leaning into climate action. They see it not as a partisan obstacle, but as a powerful opportunity. And we know that success breeds success. Those of us who have worked for states and local government have seen healthy competition push states to share ideas and expertise. And that is how everybody ends up winning. EPA has had a long-standing partnership with states to protect public health. We set goals, and states are always in the driver's seat to meet them. So releasing the Clean Power Plan actually shifts much of the conversation to the states. So if you're a teacher, a scientist, a mechanic, a business person, or just someone who has a good idea, share your thoughts with your state leaders. Help them see that they can build a plan that will better all of our futures. I know people are wondering, can we cut pollution while keeping our energy affordable and reliable? Sure we can. We can and we will. Critics claim that your energy bills will skyrocket. Well, they're wrong. Should I say that again? They're wrong. Thank you. Any small short-term change in electricity prices would be within normal fluctuations the power sector has already dealt with for years. And any small price increase that we see as a result of this rule is about the price of a gallon of milk a month. And it's dwarfed by the huge benefits. This is an investment in better health and in a better future for our kids. Just like these kids right here. Are they Girl Scouts? Just hanging out? In 2030, the Clean Power Plan will deliver climate and health benefits of up to $90 billion. And for soot and smog reductions alone, that means that for every dollar we invest in this plan, families will see $7 in direct health benefits. And if states are smart about taking advantage of efficiency opportunities, and I know they are, when the effects of this plan are in place in 2030, average electricity bills will be 8% cheaper. That is how you write a rule. You know, this plan is a down payment on we know to be a more efficient 21st century power system. And it will cut energy waste, cut pollution, and it will cut costs. It's a proven path, and a lot of states have been doing it for years. But think about it like this. We set historic fuel efficiency standards that will double the distance our cars go on a gallon of gas. Many of you were engaged in that wonderful rulemaking with DOT. What did that mean? That meant you fill up less often and you save more money. That's what efficiency does for you in the auto industry. That's what it will do for you in the power sector as well. And given the astronomical price that we pay for climate inaction, the most costly thing of all that we can do is nothing. The most costly thing that we can do is to do nothing. The critics are wrong about reliability too. For decades, power plants have met pollution limits without risking reliability. If anything, what threatens reliability and causes blackouts is the devastating extreme weather that we're going to see that is fueled by climate change. So I'm a little tired of people pointing to the polar vortex as a reason not to act on climate. It's exactly the opposite. It is a wake-up call. Climate change heightens risk from extreme cold that freezes our power grids, superstorms that drown our power plants, and heat waves that stress our power supplies. And it turns out efficiency upgrades that slow climate change actually help cities insulate themselves against blackouts. That's how it works. We know it, they know it. Despite all that, we are still for sure going to see special interest skeptics who will cry that the sky is falling, who will deliberately ignore the risks, who will deliberately overestimate the costs, and will deliberately undervalue the benefits. But the facts are very clear. For over 4 decades, EPA has cut air pollution by 70%, and the economy has now more than tripled, all the while providing the power we need to keep America strong. Climate action doesn't actually dull America's competitive edge. It sharpens it. It spurs ingenuity, innovation, and investment. In 2011, we exported almost 33% more cars than we did in 2009. That is the clear sign of a competitive industry. And our fuel efficiency standards helped to make that happen. Companies like Best Buy are investing in low-carbon operations. Bank of America actually pays its employees to cut carbon pollution because investors see climate risk as business opportunities. Don't get any hint that a raise is in order for any of you people, but this is good news. Any business will tell you eliminating waste means more money for other things, like hiring employees. Corporate climate action is not bells and whistles, folks. It is an all-hands-on-deck call. And even without national standards, the energy sector sees the handwriting on the wall. Businesses like Spectra Energy are investing billions of dollars in clean energy. And utilities like Exelon and Entergy are weaving climate considerations into their business plans. All this means more jobs, not less. We'll need thousands of American workers in construction, transmission, and more to make cleaner power a reality. You've heard me say this before, but it is worth reiterating again, that the bottom line is we have never, nor will we ever, have to choose between a healthy economy and a healthy environment. You know, there's a reason why empty allegations from critics sound a little bit like a broken record. It's because it's the same tired play from the same special interest playbook that they've been using for decades. In the 60s, you remember the 60s? Some of you do. I'm lucky enough, sort of. In the 60s, when smog choked our cities, critics cried wolf and said EPA action would put the brakes on the auto production. And they were wrong. Instead, our air got cleaner and our kids got healthier, and we sold more cars. Thank you to the folks at EPA. In the 1990s, critics cried wolf and said fighting acid rain would make electricity go up and our lights go out. They said industry would, and I quote, die a quiet death. Well, they were wrong again. Industry is alive and well. Our lights are still on, and we have dramatically reduced acid rain. So time after time, when science pointed to health risks, special interests cried wolf to protect their own agenda, not the agenda of the American people. And time after time, we followed the science, we protected the American people, and the doomsday predictions never came true. Now climate change is calling our number. And right on cue, these same critics will once again flaunt manufactured facts and scare tactics, standing in the way of our right to breathe clean air, to keep our communities safe, and to meet our moral obligation as stewards of our natural resources. Their claims that science-driven actions that protect families for generations will somehow harm all of us flies in the face of history and shows a decided lack of faith in American ingenuity and entrepreneurship. I don't accept that premise. The President of the United States doesn't accept that premise. We should not accept that premise. We can lead this fight. We can innovate our way to a better future. That's what America does best. Yes, our climate crisis is a global problem, and it demands a global solution, and there is no Hail Mary play we can call on to reverse its effects. But we can act today to advance the ball, and we can limit the dangers of punting this problem to our own children. It's no accident that our proposal is a key piece of President Obama's climate action plan and key to America's leadership in this global climate fight. Although there's still much work to be done before we get carbon pollution down to the safe levels we need, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful when I see the progress that we've made. I'm hopeful because I see the pattern of perseverance that defines America. From the light bulb to the locomotive, from photovoltaic cells to your cell phones. America has always turned small steps into giant leaps. We've cured diseases. We've explored the stars. We've connected corners of the globe with the click of a mouse. Because when critics say it can't be done, we say, you watch us. That's what America is made of. We don't settle, we lead. And that's how we'll confront this climate crisis. When it comes to our plan, we may not agree on the details of how we do it, but I sure do hope we can all agree on why we do it. When our kids ask us if we did everything we could to leave them a safer, cleaner world, we all want to say, yes, we did. When we think of our children, when we think of kids like Parker from Cleveland, Ohio, it's easy to see why we have to be compelled to act. As governors, as mayors, as CEOs, school teachers, faith leaders, nurses, factory workers, and most of all, as parents, and as, in particular, moms who are here, we have a moral obligation to ensure that the world we leave behind is safe, healthy, and vibrant, just like the one we inherited. Our Clean Power Plan is a huge step towards delivering on that promise. Thank you very much. I have some signing to do. This is the opening of our second round of engagement. I'm looking forward to it, and whoever said the sword isn't mightier than the pen. They're absolutely right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everybody.